Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday morning. I kind of just wanted to have like a little heart to heart with everybody this morning, and I wanted to let you know that God is using um, those really horrible things and those really dark places in your life for your good. And I know it doesn't feel like that, but as I was headed to work this morning and I was kind of doing my prayer time, I just began to thank God for all of the things in my life that the enemy sent to take me out, but he used them for my good. Um, my drinking, my partying, my toxic relationships, some of the other things that I've been through that I haven't yet shared. And it's amazing to me looking back on where I was and looking at where I am now and just thinking, God, you brought me a mighty long way. And I found myself being grateful for those things because the pain of those hard times, the pain of those broken moments, the pain of my dark places led me to God. And so a lot of times we don't really have proper perspective about the difficulties that we're facing and the things that we're going through and the mistakes we've made. But I just want to let you know that God is using it for your good. If I wouldn't have been so heartbroken so many times, I wouldn't have come seeking wholeness in God. If I wouldn't have had issues trusting people before, I wouldn't have come to God seeking trust. You know, so many times we're going through things and we think that it's for no reason, but my alcoholism, my heavy drinking and partying, my broken heart over and over again, being in horrible toxic relationships that left me broken and depleted, they led me to God searching for those things, searching for my completion, searching for my healing, searching for my wholeness, searching for my confidence, searching for who I was. And I ultimately found my identity in God because of my dark moments and because of my brokenness and because of those things I never should have done and the places I never should have been and the mistakes I made. Good morning, sis. And so I want to tell you that if you're going through something right now, whatever it is, that God is going to use it for your good. You may be in bondage right now to something, to an addiction or to a habit or to a toxic relationship or whatever it is, and you're feeling like, man, you know, I'm never going to get free of this. I'm never going to get healed of this. This is never going to change. I want to tell you today that God can do anything. God brought me out of some very dark places. I will share that at one point in my younger years, my my late teens, after I graduated high school, in my early 20s, I was a homosexual. I don't even know now looking back, I don't even know how I got there. I don't know what drove me there. All I know is it was one of the darkest times in my life, and as I was delivered from that, and I look back, I used to feel really bad and just sick about it because, you know, we know what the Bible calls that. And then I thought about it and I was like, but had I not been that sick in my soul, had I never gone down that road, had I never, you know, been in, and we're so scared to share our darkness with people because, well, what are they going to think about you? What would they possibly say? If they knew your truth, or what would they say if, you know, what is everybody going to think now? What is everybody going to say now? And I learned a long time ago to not be so concerned with what everybody's going to think and what everybody's going to say, because your testimony can help somebody else that's going through it. And if you keep that to yourself, you don't know whose healing you're holding when you're not sharing your testimony. And so he's using it for your good. My homosexuality when I was younger, and being delivered from that, God used that for my good, because now I get to go out and help other people that are going through it and they feel like God doesn't love me and they feel like I could never ever be delivered from this and they feel like I'm going straight to hell. I'll walk that road so I can go out and I can help other people who have been there. Being in and out of jail in my earlier years, I can help other people who are going down that road, who are making mistakes and who are not thinking and who feel like, you know, I'll never be a better person and I'll never straighten up and I could never I can never get back on track. Yes, you can. all of those horrible parts of my life that I used to think made me such a horrible person qualified me for what I'm doing right now, for what God is doing in my life. And they made me so much better, because the moments that brought me to my knees, the moments that left me broken, the moments that left me shattered, the moments that left me feeling like I was such a horrible, broken, messed up person, sent me looking for God. And had I never gone through those things, I never would have gone looking for God with such a fire in me about it. Relentlessly seeking him. God, I need my healing, and I'm not going to let you go until, I get it, and different things like that. And so I just want to let you know that whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you're dealing with, whatever it is that you feel like you can never get free from, whatever it is that you're afraid of or worrying about, or that has you captive right now, I want to let you know that all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord according to his good will. And so if you're somewhere, I've had horrible relationships because I didn't know my worth and I didn't know my identity. And so I would go looking for it in these people and in these men. And so I would let them use me, and I would let them mistreat me, and I would let them manipulate and abuse me, because I thought that that's what I was and that's who I was supposed to be. But had I not been in those horrible toxic relationships with manipulative people, with lying and cheating people, with other broken people, it never would have made me stop and say, okay, God, what is love? And what am I really worth? And I had to go find those things in God. And see, we think that when we're going through bad things, it's for no reason, but sometimes God is saying, the only way that I can get your attention, the only way that I can get you close to me, the only way that I can wake you up to who you're supposed to be, the only way that I can show you what the purpose is on your life is if I allow you to go through some really hard things, if I allow you to make some horrible mistakes, if I allow you to be really, really broken and go through some dark things. And so I'm here to tell you that I'm only 26. I haven't lived as long as some other people out there, but I can say that in my 26 years of living, I've gone through a lot of darkness. I've done a lot of horrible things. I've been horrible to people, and just done really a lot of things that I think that now looking back, I don't know how it happened, or I never even saw myself doing. But because I was broken, and because I've been in the world, and because I've been there and I've done those things, I thank God for that, because not only did it send me chasing after him, it woke me up to my purpose and who I'm supposed to be. It gave me a passion to go out and help other people who are in that situation, other people who are lost in their darkness and they feel hopeless and they don't feel like they can make it and they don't know what to do and they feel like they're losing their mind because they wake up in fear every day or they wake up depressed every day. I've been there. And that's what God does for us. And the Bible says that he who called me qualified me. And that's because what happens in your life, God is going to turn it around and use it. God recycles your troubles. And I want to mark that because that just came to me. God recycles your troubles. And what they were originally meant for, God will turn them around and use them for his own glory, for his will in your life. And so if you're stuck right now and you don't understand what's going on, or you feel like you'll never make it, I want to let you know that we serve a God that can turn the hearts of man. This is not who I always was. I was a very dark person before I got here, but I thank God that I was dark. I thank God for my struggles. I thank God for how I felt. I thank God for the horrible choices and decisions that I made. I thank God for my moments of darkness and for all the brokenness that I had to walk through to get here, because it made me who I am. He showed me who I was. He rebirthed me out of the ashes. The Bible says that he will give you beauty for your ashes, and he truly will. I never would have learned how to walk in my faith. I never would have learned how to love people right. I never even would have learned my identity, my worth, who I was, what real love is, if I never would have been broken, which forced me to find God. And so God took all of the mess and the mud of my life and he washed it clean and he turned it around and he used it for something awesome. And now here I am every day of my life getting to do the thing that I love the most, because the filth on me is what God used to qualify me. I'm not perfect. I've never been perfect. And what we have to stop doing as leaders and as Christians is portraying that we are all perfect. We're washed in the blood and we're clean and worthy, but only by grace, not by anything that we did, Not because we deserve it, not because we're perfect, and we've got to stop stomping on people who are still in the mud, making them feel like they're bad, could never be turned for good. I've been the filthiest of the filthiest. I've been involved in homosexuality. I've been a partier and a drinker and a fornicator. I've been to jail several times. I've been out there doing things that now looking back, I'm like, who was I? But ultimately, God delivered me from them, and then he used it for my good. And he didn't look at me and say, my child, you're too filthy, I don't want anything to do with you. He looked at me and said, I know that you're dirty, and I know that you've been through a lot, but I'm gonna wash you off, and I'm gonna polish you up, and I'm gonna send you out there into the world to do what I've done for your life. And so all these horrible things that forced me to have to look for God are really just my qualification. I didn't have to go to seminary. All I did was made a bunch of bad decisions. I didn't have to get a degree. I didn't have to become ordained. I just went through a lot of mud, and I allowed God to clean me up, and I allowed God to wash me off, and I allowed God to take all of my horrible choices and all of the filthy parts of me and all of the broken pieces of me, and I allowed him to get into my heart and begin to fill me up with so much love and so much just grace and mercy that it just overflowed in me. And I always say, I didn't know me until I knew God. I didn't meet me until I met God. I've been alive for 26 years, and from 0 to 24, it was just me living my life for me. But when I met God, I met me. Now I have a grace about me, and I know how to show grace and mercy to other people because I've had to receive. I worked a long time to receive God's grace and mercy for the things I did. It took me a long time to accept God's love and forgiveness. And he told me one day, he said, I forgave you a long time ago, but you have not forgiven yourself. And because I went through that, God taught me how to forgive people. And because I didn't know who I was, God taught me who I was through who he is. And because I didn't know how to love people right, God showed me how he loves us. And he taught me how to love me. And now I know how to go out and teach other people. And so it's not a matter of who qualifies you here. God is qualifying you through the things that you're going through right now that you don't want to go through the hard times, through the struggles, through the mud, through your sin. You will not be perfect. I still make mistakes. And those moments, I laugh because I remember, man, I don't even deserve it, but God still loves me. And so all of your the bad parts of you, the dirty parts of you, the muddy parts of you, the broken parts of you, please understand, it's not for no reason. You may still be struggling with some things. I still struggle in some areas, big time, but I know that God is using them to qualify me to go out and help other people. I know that God is using it to build me up, to fortify me, to reveal himself to me. And so I don't beat myself up when I mess up because I know where God has brought me from. I know the dirt that I did before now, and I know that he took all of it, and the devil meant to take me out, and the devil meant to use it for harm, but God turned it around and used it for his good. And now look at me, I get to go out and witness to other people. And so whatever you're going through, please take heart and find hope in knowing that God is using it for your good. I know that it may feel like the enemy is trying to take you out, and he is, and I know that you may think you're the most horrible person in the world, but I promise you that you're not. God is using it for your good. So be patient with him in the process as he works to change your heart, as he works to change your mind, as he works to wash you off. It's not going to happen overnight, but be patient with him, ask him to help you, and then watch him turn it all around for your good. I love you guys, and I hope you're having a good Monday.